Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Well, this is MAOBI N. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and Ipob families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 Olumewojuku is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 Olumewojuku is another Savior. Holy, 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 Olumewojuku is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. Inyamadika yabika kwa namno wao. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo. Mwanemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 is another Savior. Getting moving right and getting moving faster now. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. Holy, holy, getting moving right and moving faster. Never freedom. Is another Savior. Never freedom. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Well, this is MAOBI N. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and Ipob families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 Olumewojuku is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 Olumewojuku is another Savior. Holy, 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 Olumewojuku is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. Inyamadika yabika kwa namno wao. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo. Mwanemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. Sing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 is another Savior. Getting moving right and getting moving faster now. Holy, holy, holy,
holy, Nnamdi Kanu is another savior.
Biafra, the land of the rising suns. Onye si n'ọgaga dị ndụ hụkwa ndị Igbo, alili gerishi ya o. Onye si n'ọgaga dị ndụ hụkwa Biafra, ili gerishi ya o. Anyị bụ ụmụ Chukwu okike abịa ma ihe anyị chọrọ bụ nwere onwe anyị. Anyị ejeghị mmadụ ọbụla ụgwọ, onye biri ka ibe ya biri. Maka ebe bere ugo bere n'o, ọ bụkwa ọfọ n'ogo ka anyị ji aga. Ka anyị gbawa mbọ anya dara mba, anyị jisike anyị nwe mmeri. Enye Ebube I got to define a Chukwu okike kere eluigwe n'ụwa, Nnabịa n'ụlọ olumo. Anyị enweghị Chukwu ọzọ ewezuga gị chịka ụzụ ndị agha. Anyị ebughị anya kọtọ gị, ihe anyị chọrọ bụ nwere onwe anyị. N'aka ndị nwere obi ọjọọ, n'aka ndị ama n'oke ọchịchọ. Ọsọkwa aka egburu egbe na mma, onweghị ya ga-emume Chukwu. Ọ bụzi mmadụ ole kunu ga-egbunu. Ihe anyị ma bụ oji ọfọ gara. Onye si n'ọgaga dị ndụ hụkwa ndị Igbo, alili gerishi ya o. Onye si n'ọgaga dị ndụ hụkwa Biafra, ili gerishi ya o. Anyị bụ ụmụ Chukwu okike abịa ma ihe anyị chọrọ bụ nwere onwe anyị. Anyị ejeghị mmadụ ọbụla ụgwọ, onye biri ka ibe ya biri. Maka ebe bere ugo bere n'o, ọ bụkwa ọfọ n'ogo ka anyị ji aga. Ka anyị gbawa mbọ anya dara mba, anyị jisike anyị nwe mmeri. Enye Ebube, I got to define a Biafra, the land of the rising suns. Onye si n'ọgaga dị ndụ hụkwa ndị Igbo, alili gerishi ya o. Onye si n'ọgaga dị ndụ hụkwa Biafra, ili gerishi ya o. Anyị bụ ụmụ Chukwu okike abịa ma ihe anyị chọrọ bụ nwere onwe anyị. Anyị ejeghị mmadụ ọbụla ụgwọ, onye biri ka ibe ya biri. Maka ebe bere ugo bere n'o, ọ bụkwa ọfọ n'ogo ka anyị ji aga. Ka anyị gbawa mbọ anya dara mba, anyị jisike anyị nwe mmeri. Enye Ebube, I were ofe obi o. I got to define a Chukwu okike kere eluigwe n'ụwa, Nnabịa n'ụlọ olumo. Anyị enweghị Chukwu ọzọ ewezuga gị chịka ụzụ ndị agha. Anyị ebughị anya kọtọ gị, ihe anyị chọrọ bụ nwere onwe anyị. N'aka ndị nwere obi ọjọọ, n'aka ndị ama n'oke ọchịchọ. Ọsọkwa aka egburu egbe na mma, onweghị ya ga-emume Chukwu. Ọ bụzi mmadụ ole kunu ga-egbunu. Ihe anyị ma bụ oji ọfọ gara. Onye si n'ọgaga dị ndụ hụkwa ndị Igbo, alili gerishi ya o. Onye si n'ọgaga dị ndụ hụkwa Biafra, ili gerishi ya o. Anyị bụ ụmụ Chukwu okike abịa ma ihe anyị chọrọ bụ nwere onwe anyị. Anyị ejeghị mmadụ ọbụla ụgwọ, onye biri ka ibe ya biri. Maka ebe bere ugo bere n'o, ọ bụkwa ọfọ n'ogo ka anyị ji aga. Ka anyị gbawa mbọ anya dara mba, anyị jisike anyị nwe mmeri. Enye Ebube, I were ofe obi o. I got to define a
I thought of Biafra freedom taking longer, and cause of that you tend to feel so low. I know our freedom is your greatest hunger. I thought of Biafra keeps your heart aglow. We will walk the line, this hell that we've known with time. Gotta take it away. Just hold on and don't let go. Hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. Your friend's just a step away. Just hold on. Oh, hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. Your friend's just a step away. up a throne on high and reign without God. Just hold on and don't let go. Hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. Biafra is just a step away. Just hold on. Hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. Biafra is just a step away. Tell me now, can't you see and don't you know? If I had let you know this a point of no return. The voice on radio is calling out to you, my brother. Saying get up, stand up, and don't give up the fight. Hold on. Just hold on. Biafra is just a step away. One family, we really are. A step away, do not let go. Never give up the fight. Standing on the truth always. One step away. And don't let go. I thought of Biafra freedom taking longer, and cause of that you tend to feel so low. I know our freedom is your greatest hunger. I thought of Biafra keeps your heart aglow. We will walk the line, this hell that we've known with time. Gotta take it away. Just hold on and don't let go. Hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. Biafra is just a step away. Just hold on. Hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. Biafra is just a step away. Our history
n'akụkọ ndị be anyị genu ntị ka m gụọ olu na-egwu Biafra ga-abịa be anyị if you like isobe anyị if you hate la n'azụ anyị adịghị maka azụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha mmanụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha oyile Biafra be anyị yo ịdị be anyị yo odisekofu be anyị yo ịgadị adị yo obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha mmanụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha oyile nwanne jedro ọbụna ịdakọ maka Biafra nwanne biko jee nwụọ fama na Biafra dịka triga nwanne ịhapụ ogulo hapụ mgba ha na-agba for this nation mecha ogulo we never turning back ana m ayọ ndị nọ n'ugwu I know they coming back anya bụrụ nwunye lot we never looking back ọbụna Biafra bịara ọnwa n'obodo adịkwa dak ọbụna Biafra bịara ọnwa n'obodo adịkwa dak boys oye chisoye edusafụ Biafra nwanne adịzigbo oke mana ndị mgbu nọ n'ogbe nwanne ha bụ ekwensu kwakọrọ laba ajọ mmụọ kwakọrọ laba Chineke na n'eluigwe nwanne ya ka m ji aba if you think say I dey lie you ọnụ eti aba ndị be anyị genu ntị ka m kọọlụ n'akụkọ ndị be anyị genu ntị ka m gụọlụ na-egwu Biafra ga-abịa be anyị if you like isobe anyị if you hate la n'azụ anyị adịghị maka azụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha mmanụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha oyile Biafra be anyị yo ịdị be anyị yo odisekofu be anyị yo ịgadị adị yo obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha mmanụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha oyile anyị na-ekene Mazi Nnamdi Kanu the leader of IPOB na-ekenekwa Mazi Uchenna Nwafọ deputy leader IPOB anyị na-ekene mmadụ dịka George Onyibe na-ekenekwa Mazi Ugwu Okechukwu obi nwanne ndị Igbo na-ekenekwa Mazi Chukwuebuka Ezugwu Speed Oga Boss na-ekene mmadụ dịka Darizi aka na-echibi nke mbụ na Biafra niile Biafra anyị nọkwa ya o Chineke na n'eluigwe nwanne ya ka m ji aba if you think say I dey lie you ọnụ eti aba ndị be anyị genu ntị ka m kọọlụ n'akụkọ ndị be anyị genu ntị ka m gụọlụ na-egwu Biafra ga-abịa be anyị if you like isobe anyị if you hate la n'azụ anyị adịghị maka azụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha mmanụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha oyile Biafra be anyị yo ịdị be anyị yo odisekofu be anyị yo ịgadị adị yo obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha mmanụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha oyile ndị be anyị genu ntị ka m kọọlụ n'akụkọ ndị be anyị genu ntị ka m gụọlụ na-egwu Biafra ga-abịa be anyị if you like isobe anyị if you hate la n'azụ anyị adịghị maka azụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha mmanụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha oyile Biafra be anyị yo ịdị be anyị yo odisekofu be anyị yo ịgadị adị yo obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha mmanụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha oyile nwanne jedro ọbụna ịdakọ maka Biafra nwanne biko jee nwụọ fama na Biafra dịka triga nwanne ịhapụ ogulo hapụ mgba ha na-agba for this nation mecha ogulo we never turning back ana m ayọ ndị nọ n'ugwu I know they coming back anya bụrụ nwunye lot we never looking back ọbụna Biafra bịara ọnwa n'obodo adịkwa dak ọbụna Biafra bịara ọnwa n'obodo adịkwa dak boys oye chisoye edusafụ Biafra nwanne adịzigbo oke mana ndị mgbu nọ n'ogbe nwanne ha bụzigbo oke ekwensu kwakọrọ laba ajọ mmụọ kwakọrọ laba Chineke na n'eluigwe nwanne ya ka m ji aba if you think say I dey lie you ọnụ eti aba ndị be anyị genu ntị ka m kọọlụ n'akụkọ ndị be anyị genu ntị ka m gụọlụ na-egwu Biafra ga-abịa be anyị if you like isobe anyị if you hate la n'azụ anyị adịghị maka azụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha mmanụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha oyile Biafra be anyị yo ịdị be anyị yo odisekofu be anyị yo ịgadị adị yo obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha mmanụ obodo chi gọziri ma nyekwa ha oyile anyị na-ekene Mazi Nnamdi Kanu the leader of IPOB na-ekenekwa Mazi Uchenna Nwafọ Deputy Leader IPOB. Anekina mano dika Georgie.
Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the face of this very planet. Once again, we welcome you to our live edition this very day, the 9th day of August, in the year of our Most High Elohim 2020, with the time now standing at exactly 5 minutes past 7 p.m. in the land of Biafra, and the same number of minutes past the top of the hour, regardless of where you are living, where you are domiciled, where you are working at this precise moment. We welcome each and every one of you. And as always, because this is the most listened to radio broadcast coming out of Africa to the entire 24 time zones of the world, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you. Whereas on the outer reaches of California, in Los Angeles to be precise, people are listening at this very moment. It is their morning. Whereas in the Far East, in Indonesia, in Thailand, and also in Malaysia, it is around about 2 a.m. in the morning over there. So wherever you go to across the face of this very earth, people are listening. Either they are listening via their app, it could be Radio Biafra, it could be tuning, it could be Garden Radio, it could be Simple Radio, or they are listening via our FM in Biafra land. Some are listening via satellite. You can receive Radio Biafra on your front room television, even in your bedroom. If you have a flat screen and you have a decoder, the strong decoder they call it, you should be able to receive Radio Biafra. I welcome each and every one of you, and as I do so, I will strongly encourage you to welcome other people as well, because this is a class like no other. This is a university like no other. Here you will be tutored, here you will be taught, here you will be lectured, and here at the end of this very session you will acquire some common sense. At the end of this very broadcast today, believe you me, you will experience a new feeling in your life. You will begin to reason properly. You will begin to reason like a human being. You will begin to articulate properly. You will begin to understand where all the myriads of problems afflicting you are coming from. And you will begin not only to prefer solutions, but to welcome those solutions into your life, that you may lead a sensible, a decent life, away from that which has enveloped those who are unfortunate enough to find themselves in the damnable zoological republic. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra all over this very planet, and by the very special grace of the Most High Elohim, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. Without further hesitation, I will proceed, of course, to pray this evening, as it is customary for us to do so. We shall pray, and then we proceed to what we have for you this very evening. Regardless of where you are, as I said earlier, it could be your morning, it could be your afternoon. When I make reference to evening, I am, of course, referencing the time in Biafra land. You can also join, of course. We are live on my Facebook page, where later on, should there be any questions, I will be able to answer them. Remember that, as always, we endeavor to be as interactive as possible, but this very day, this very precise time, we are going to call upon the Most High, upon whom and to whom every glory and every adoration belongs to. We must bow down our heads wherever we are. Sometimes people ask me, why do you always put God first in all that you do? We say that in the land where we come from, in the land of Biafra, the first thing you ever reverence in your life is God Almighty in heaven. It is manifest in the names that we are being given to by our parents. Everything about us is godliness, not minding that these days things are no longer going the way they ought to go. Not because of any fault of our own, but because we unfortunately find ourselves in a man-made contraption, in a damnable zoological republic, and we are doing all that we can to extricate ourselves from it. That is why we must remain whiter than white and whiter than snow. That is why Chukwukikabiama must be at the front and the back, to our right and to our left, and that is why we must give him every praise and every adoration. Chineke na nke pụrụ ihe niile Chukwukikabiama usu niile nke ndị agha onye mmụọ na mmadụ na-akpụ isi ala anya onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-eri otuto ndị dị ndụ Chineke n'ezimeli igwe ndị Igbo na-etughị ancient of days n'ihi na ịdịghị anwụ anwụ ọ bụ naanị gị bụ mmalite na ọgwụgwụ ndị ọzọ wee na-akpọ gị the ancients of the ancients n'ihi na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ mmalite na ụsọtụ ọ bụ naanị gị kere ihe niile kere ka eze Ebube dị ngọzi mana onweghị onye kere gị ọ bụ naanị gị ka okike gị karịrị nghọta nke mmadụ dị nke dị ndụ Chineke na nke igwe anyị gwara ụmụ gị wee na-eche gị n'iru bụ ezinụlọ nke gọziri agọzi bụ ụmụ gị bụ IPOB n'ụwa niile bụ ndị nsọ bụ ndị a na-etu ụmụ Chineke onye nwe anyị bi n'igwe biko anyị wee na-arịọ gị n'isi ndị a niile n'otu n'otu na ezinụlọ ha ọmụmụ ha nna nke Ebube dị ngọzi n'ihi na ikwere anyị nkwa na Biafra ga-abịa na mgbe nke anyị ọ bụrụ na anyị tigheta azụ wee gbakọta azụ mmehie niile wee chebe ihu n'ebe ekwu nsọ gị nọ nna nke Ebere na nzọpụta gị na ị ga-emere anyị amara na ị ga-azọpụta anyị n'aka ajọ ihe na ị ga-ebuli anyị elu ị ga-etisasị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro n'ihi na anyị na-ekwu wee na-ekwusi ike na Biafra nke na-ababụ ihe ịrịba ama nke ukwuu nke ga-agba mmadụ dị ndụgharị anyị wee na-arịọghị onye nsọ biko na anyị enweghị ikikere ọbụla anyị enweghị ngwa agha onweghị ihe ọbụla nke anyị nwe kama na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye na-ekpuchite anyị ọnwụkwa ka isi wee lụrụ anyị ọgụ na mgbe gboo wee chụghachi ndị ọjọọ n'ala Benue sikwa otu abịa ka iwe lụrụ anya ọgụ n'ụbọchị nke taa n'ihi na ịbụ Chineke na-ede ga-agbanwe agbanwe ka isi dị na mbụ ka ị ga-adịgide wee ruo mgbe ebighị ebi ọrụ na ịchụnara ndị iro mgbe ha bịara mgbe mbụ n'otu aka akwa ka ị ga-esi wee chụrụ aha ọzọ n'ihi na ha abata oge n'ala nsọ gị anyị ma anya ụwa anyị mmehie wee megide gị ọ bụ site na akparamagwa site n'okwu ọnụ site n'echiche nna nke Ebere dị ngọzi anyị wee na-arịọ gị mgbaghara mmehie n'ụwa niile na-anụ ekpere nke anyị na-ekpere gị n'ụbọchị nke taa na asụsụ ime eluigwe wee na-arịọ gị nna nke Ebere dị ngọzi na-asịghị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na onye ọbụla anyị na-agbaghara mmehie ezi Ebube dị ngọzi biko na mere anyị amara ka Biafra wee bịa anyị n'ime ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwa ezi Ebube dị ngọzi n'ime afọ a ka anyị na-arịọ gị wee na-agọzi gị ike si na ọgbaghara ga nọ n'etiti ndị iro ka ha rabụ ndị kụniri wee si na Biafra agaghị abịa ezi Ebube dị ngọzi Chineke nna nke dị nsọ ndị dị etu a ga-ejiri ala wee zere mmiri ka ha rabụ ndị kụniri wee na-agba mgba wee nọ n'ime ekworo wee nọ n'ime iri uju site n'ọṅụ nke gị onwe chọrọ itinye anyị n'ime ndị dị etu agaghị enwe aṅụrị n'ime ndụ ha Chineke nna nke igwe ihe ọjọọ ga-akpọ ha ihu ụtụtụ ehihie abalị eze Ebube dị ngọzi ka ha rabụ ndị kụniri wee na-asị na ha ga-emegide ọbịbịa ala eze gị n'elu ụwa Chineke nna nke igwe etu a ka ọchịchịrị ga-esi wee sachite ndị dị etu a anyị wee na-akpọkọ wee na-arịọ gị si gị eze Ebube dị ngọzi ime wee na mgbe mbụ ịzọpụtawa ụmụ gị bụ Israel nna nke Ebere dị ngọzi lekwa bụrụ gị n'ime ha bụ ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra bịa ka iwe zọpụta ha ka ọ ga-abụ na ikpetemazụ na Biafra ga-abịa anyị ga-aja gị mma wee too gị wee bulie aha nsọ gị wee bụ isi ala nye gị wee tụọra gị mma mma Chineke nna nke ebi n'igwe ugbu a mụrụ mgbe na-ebi ebi ka a na-arịọ gị ise eziokwu Chineke ka anyị na-agbasa. We are here to preach the gospel of light, the gospel of truth without blemish. That is why everything we speak about, everything we talk about, everything we predict, every utterance that comes forth from our mouth comes to fruition. Because Chukwukikabiama is with us. And this evening, we shall do justice to this gospel that only him has commanded that we may preach to the living on this very earth. I am asking for a very simple and innocuous picture to be posted on my page. Very, very important. I want us to do by way, of course, of us establishing the foundational basis upon which we rest the entire broadcast this very evening, because the whole world is listening. Right to the ends of the earth, they are listening. If you doubt me, go to Germany. If you doubt me, go to Jordan. Everywhere they are listening. White people are listening in Germany. Arabs are listening in Jordan. That is how formidable and how powerful we are. To let you understand that this very gospel emanating from this very temple and citadel of truth and transparency, enlightenment and clarity is reaching the ends of this very earth. That man may learn, that they may come to the understanding that we are not prevaricating, we are not delaying, we are doing all that we can to ensure that Biafra is restored, or we all die restoring Biafra. That I can assure you, because the enemies have come. I want that very picture to be published. It is a simple compare and contrast. The Buhari that they gave you on the 12th of June 2020 and the Buhari of 12th of June 2016. A very simple comparison. Why am I bringing out this very picture and why am I dwelling on this? Because I want us to understand that when we say there is something fundamentally wrong with the senses of a black man, that the world can understand it, because they go to my page and they see what we are doing, they see what we write, they read all the things, all the comments that we make. They are now coming to the understanding, or should I say to the realization, that there is something fundamentally wrong with us. Why am I publishing this very picture? Is to draw a very simple contrast with what is happening in Lebanon, where there was an explosion. A very devastating, very horrible explosion. And may those that lost their lives do rest in the bosom of the Most High, in peace, of course. What they are doing in that very country, compared to what obtains in Africa, that will tell you all that you need to know about a black man. Because every day we have identified that the problem that we have as a race, as a people, is in our brain. Our inability to discern, inability to understand, inability to comprehend, inability to compartmentalize, inability to reason properly. That is why we dwell on this every blessed day, for you to understand that you are your own worst enemy. You are your own worst enemy because you cannot reason properly. You are your own worst enemy because you cannot discern properly. You are your own worst enemy because you cannot do simple compare and contrast. When I look at this very picture, it fills me with dread. I begin to ask myself a question. Where did all this timidity and stupidity in a black man come from? And some of you may wonder why every blessed broadcast I dwell on this very problem. Because I have discovered, or should I say we have discovered, that there lies our problem. Inability to reason and to act upon that very reason. That is the narrative we are seeking to change. Because not only are we seeking for our liberation, we are seeking for the liberation of every trapped entity, every ethnicity in the damnable zoological republic. My joy today is that whereas previously we had detractors, we had people who did not quite understand where we were coming from and where we are going, I am glad to say that today, almost every other oppressed ethnicity in the zoo that the British created have now come round to our position. That IPOB has been right all along. That is the truth that I'm telling you. They have come round to that. And I want people to understand this. I want people to look at these two pictures, very simple pictures. Of one they gave you 12th of June 2020 and 12th of June 2016. And I want you to ask yourself, just ask yourself this very simple question. Who in their right mind, whose brain is intact, whoever attended kindergarten or nursery school can look at these two people and say they are the same? The reason why I'm dwelling on this is to remind us about our apathy, our inability to engage our senses at the right time, and also our failure to act on whatever thing that it is that our brain or our mind have told us about this very picture we are looking at. We know they are not the same person. We know that Buhari is dead. Now ask yourself this question. Why are you going through all the mess you're going in the zoo? You are going through it for the simple reason that if the Janjaweed have cleverly discovered that you cannot tell between a dead Buhari and somebody wearing a mask, you cannot tell between a 78-year-old, official age of course, and somebody who is in their mid-20s, that means they can do anything they like to you and they will get away with it. That goes to show them the depth of your stupidity, the depth of your hopelessness, the depth of your uselessness, and the depth of your ignorance. That is why I'm public. You have all seen these pictures. I want anybody in their right senses, anybody with a brain in their skull, to look at these two people and tell me that they are the same. The reason why I'm putting it that I want to remind you the reason why you don't have good roads, the reason why you don't have electricity, the reason why you don't have good hospitals, the reason why your education system is a failure, the reason why you have no jobs, the reason why they are killing you every blessed day and you can do nothing about it, it is because your brains are defective. Look at this very picture and tell me that they're the same person. The reason why the zoo is the way it is today, with the Fulani Janjaweed descending all across the Sahel into the zoo to pillage, to kill. The reason why there is genocide in southern Kaduna. The reason why people can steal trillions and get away with it. The reason why they can hire thugs at will to do their nefarious activities for them. The reason why you know that in every election there is bound to be rigging. The reason why somebody can come forth in an election and they promote him to number one. The reason why you are suffering. The reason why you are in pain. The reason why Ogun hasn't been cleaned up. The reason why that our oil is being exploited and our gas and we see nothing out of it is because of the way we reason and our failure to act on our reason. Even that little time that we are able to put one and one together to get two. Look at those pictures again and again, and tell me if they are the same person. I believe that picture, and I want this picture to be circulated far and wide everywhere. You have seen it before. You have seen it time and time again. I want you to look at these pictures and tell me they are the same person. The reason why I'm asking you to look at these pictures very well is because I want you to understand the way that a black man reasons. And I want the world to know that the white man is not a black man's problem. The exploitative tendencies of world corporations is not the reason why blacks are down. The reason why we suffer racism is not as a consequence of the innate nature of a white man. I want you to understand that things are the way they are because a black man is foolish. I want you to look at these pictures and tell me if these two people are the same. Very simple. And if they are not the same, why have you accepted the Buhari version of 12/06/2020 to be your president when the one that was elected in 2015 is the one that the picture is there, 12/06/2016? I want any day, these are the things that we've been through time and time again. And no matter how you look at it, if you look at the problem of a black man, our plight, the mess we are in, the fact that our cities are not built properly, the fact we have no sewage system, the fact that we have no running water, the fact that things are not working the way they ought to work, the fact that police and army can kill innocent people and get away with it, nobody is being tried, the fact that Boko Haram can kill at will and the government cannot do anything, but they are busy arresting and shooting protesters, the fact that all these calamities are befalling you is because your brain cells are not working. Your brains are not working. Any day your brains begin to work, any day, believe you me, you engage your brain to think critically, things can no longer be the same. What people are now doing in Lebanon, you can do. What they did with the Arab Spring, you can now do. You cannot protest en masse because you're foolish. You cannot do anything en masse. You cannot hold government to account. You know how to eulogize and praise criminals. You know how to burn little boys, little children. You burnt them. You roasted them alive because they stole bread. Some said it's a mobile phone, but people steal trillions and trillions and trillions. You hail them. You give them chieftaincy title. I want the world to know, I want Asians who are listening, whites who are listening, that the problem with a black man is a black man, no other person, because a black man has refused to reason. A black man has remained in darkness. He wants to be in darkness. He sees the truth and he turns it upside down. He prefers gossip. He prefers side chatting. They prefer to watch garbage on television called Big Brother than to go back and to reason and think about their lives. That is how useless we are as a race. That is why we are at the bottom, the lowest of the low. Not because of any other thing that God gave to other races that he never gave to Africans. He gave us everything, but we have failed to use that one thing that God gave to us to improve our lives. That's our brain. Look at those pictures. Look at these two pictures and tell me Even ask your 4-year to tell you how foolish Nigerians are. An average zoo animal. To tell you how foolish Nigerians are. To tell you how hopeless, how ridiculously pathetic they are. I want anybody, if your 4 or 5 or 6-year-old can talk, take these pictures and show them to a 6-year-old child anywhere in the world, including black kids. Ask your child now, as I'm on the air. Ask your baby, are these two people the same? Ask a 6-year-old child. I now want to put into context the stupidity of a black man. I want the world to understand how foolish and hopeless Nigerians are. Any idiot who calls himself or herself a Nigerian, I want the world to understand how pathetic, how subhuman they are. I want the whole world to know that what Britain created is a nightmare. I take these pictures, take it to your child, even in the zoo. Take this, ask your baby now, 6-year-old, ask your child, are these two people the same? If a 6-year-old can tell you that they are not the same, why are adults saying that they are the same? That tells you that the devil went into the soul of a Nigerian and built skyscraper in it. I want people to understand. I want people, after this program tonight, go and look at yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, I am foolish. Believe you me, that is the point at which you will begin to change. I want the world to understand that black people are foolish, not because the world made us foolish. We are foolish because we want to be foolish. We are foolish and useless because we want to be foolish and useless. Are these two people the same? I believe this has been posted. Post this very picture. I believe it has been posted. I want the world to tell me, is this picture of Buhari in 2020 and Buhari of 2016 the same? The answer is no. When did you people begin to reverse nature? That the older you get, the younger you become. Since when? A black man will see the truth. They will see the truth. A black man with PhD, with MSc, a black man with bachelor's degree will look at the truth and turn it upside down. Now tell me if that person is not the habitation of Satan. There is a medal that they give to the Order of St. George in the UK. It's the ninth. I think it's knighthood. I will try and look for it and I will post it. Somebody should please look for it. In that very medallion, the angel of God is a white person, a white woman with a sword, standing on the neck of a black Lucifer on the ground. You know, when you look at it, you might think, oh, they are being racist. It's a racist depiction of a black man. But if you look at it dispassionately, if you take away your useless nigger sentiment and look at the issue objectively, you will know that they are right. How can somebody who is 30 years old, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, you look at this picture of Buhari in 2020, 12th of June, and you look at the same picture of the person they claim is the same person, 12th of June 2016, and you're telling me that they're the same, but your 6-year-old grandchild, great-grandchild is telling you, Grandpa, they're not the same. Do you see the amount of evil that is in you as a black man? I want black people to understand this. We are suffering today because God looked at us, looked at every race in the world, found something nice in other races, came to a black man, all he saw was darkness, evil, iniquity, and gossip. If not for your predisposition to gossip, why would a human being sit down and watch glorified pornography on TV called Big Brother to entertain you? There is election, thuggery, and rigging going on in Edo. People are dying in southern Kaduna. Fulani, Janjaweed, the terrorists are everywhere killing you on a daily basis. But you prefer, when you look at yourself, what sort of human being do you think you are? You are an impediment to progress. I want you to look at your useless lives and know that you are your own worst enemy. The greatest enemy you have in life is yourself, your stupidity and your ignorance. That is why in a zoo of 200 million people, Almost 150 of them, 150 million is saying that, oh, they are the same person. They are the same. I'm asking you to take the same pictures to a 6-year-old child and hear what your child will tell you. Your child will tell you, oh, daddy or mommy, that I want you to understand the brain of an average animal in the zoo called Nigeria. Go there, ask your child, because you're foolish. You are condemned. Ask a 6-year-old. It's a simple experiment. People should take these pictures. Ask the nearest 6-year-old where you are. Are these two people the same? And you hear what a child will tell you. Then your shame can be complete. The same thing today. You know, some people say to us, you're fighting for Biafra because of oil and because of gas. The reason why the Fulani Janjaweed chose Nigeria as their home ground is because of the hydrocarbon in my land, in the land of Biafra. That's why they are there. That is why they have come, because they are very lazy. They don't do any work. They are nomadic in nature. They move from place to place. That is why the only thing they have produced in 38 years of research in the north is how to dry kilishi in the sun, which is to dry meat, barbecue under the sun. Like the way you do sun-dried tomatoes. They have nothing. They produce nothing. They consume everything. Now, that is why they want your land. But when you're explaining this to people, they find it difficult to comprehend. Ask yourself, why would the Janjaweed from everywhere descend upon the zoo that they want it? They could have gone to Mali, they could have gone to Niger, they could have gone to wherever, to Mauritius. But they're coming for you. And you see it every day. You see the illegal Fulani settlements in your village every blessed day. You see it. You see the killings. You know, everybody knows. Obasanjo knows. Everybody knows that the army is aiding and abetting terrorists. Everybody knows it. That when Miet Yala said they are going to establish vigilante, they know they are talking about using the army and the police to advance this Janjaweedism across the whole landmass of the zoo called Nigeria. What are you doing about it? You are busy watching Big Brother. You're busy watching things that are irrelevant. You're busy gossiping your lives away. And in the next 300 years, your stupid children and offspring, those you idiotically gave birth to, they'll be shouting rubbish. We are marginalized. We've been killed. We are this. But in your idiocy, now that you are in the prime of your foolishness, you cannot see. You are blind. That's what I hate about black people. They don't reason very well. And we are going to cure you your illness. That stupidity is what is making all of you foolish before the eyes of God in heaven and man on this earth. That is why a black man is worth nothing. No matter how mega you are as a sports superstar, no matter how good you are as a musician, no matter how brilliant you are as a surgeon, regardless of how brilliant you think you may be, as long as the group is not brilliant as you are a nobody, you are a non-entity. Understand it very well. Today, before I came on air, it's been announced Total, the French company, because what some of you people don't understand, what some of you don't know is that the Fulani cleverly packaged the zoo. This thing you saw them do with the Chinese is just the tip of the iceberg. What they have done is that they sold the sovereignty of the zoo in 1967. 1960, they sold all of you. You are nothing. That is why a country can wake up one morning and say, oh, from today, regardless if your visa is valid or not, you can no longer visit UAE. You can no longer visit Germany. Have you ever wondered or asked yourself why? This nonsense that you tolerate in the zoo, do you think other nations will tolerate it? Other human beings? Do you see why I say you are animals, you're not human beings? Because even dogs cannot tolerate the living conditions you are being forced to endure on a daily basis. Even animals cannot do it. Do you know what the French company said, Total? Total is saying that we are now going to put a date as to when oil will stop being explored and produced all over the world. They gave the date to be 2050. Some of you may have heard of Tesla before. Have you not heard of Tesla? Do you know Tesla? Tesla is the fastest growing company in the world. The fastest multi-billionaire is Elon Musk, who is the CEO of Tesla. Do you know what Tesla does? Do you know what they do? They produce electric cars. Cars that don't use fuel. Are you reasoning? This is how white people reason. This is how they behave. I don't want any sentimental hogwash telling me nonsense. You're putting down, but you people are useless. I'm a black man, yes, but we are foolish. We are foolish to a fault. Foolish to a fault. That foolishness and stupidity is why we don't have electricity. It is why there is no running water. It is why you have universities all over the place. Yet in our homes, people are sleeping. I would say in our towns and villages, people are sleeping outside on the streets. People are homeless. They cannot feed themselves. But for nearly 50 years, you've been producing graduates. Do you know the meaning of it? Yet you have no running water. And you wake up in the morning and you look at your idiotic face in the mirror and you say, I am proud Nigerian. I want you to understand the depth of your stupidity and idiocy. That is why you people are so foolish that when they brought out a little boy, they had no mask. On the 12th of June, they brought out a little boy to read an address claiming it's Buhari, who is over 80 years old. All of you idiotically, as foolish as you are, you looked at this little boy and some said the president has spoken. And you want me to be in the same country with you? Is that what you think? You people are mad. You are insane. I don't wish to be in a country with people who are genetically stupid and hopeless. That a 6-year-old child can tell you, oh, mommy or daddy, these two people are not the same, you know. You as an adult, you claim you're an adult. Tomorrow you tell me you're an elder. You should be respected. You are foolishly telling me that these people are the same. Are you blind? Are you blind? Or the part of your brain that reads vision and images, they're distorted, they're not functioning properly. My goodness me. Do you know that whites have all these things? They have all this. Go to anywhere, ask any intelligence agency in the world. They will tell you if you produce a goat as your president, they'll follow the goat. This is when they say you're not going to get any visa, it is because when they look at you, believe you me, I'm telling you the gospel truth before God and man. With this incident of Jubril before now and Aisha's boyfriend now, they look at all of you, believe you me, when a white man or Asians, even Arabs, when they look at you, believe you me, they want to take knife and cut off your neck because they see you as being hopeless. That is why some of you are slaves in Lebanon. That is why you are being sold in Libya, because they look at you, you are beneath a dog. A dog is better than you. Useless set of people. You call yourself human beings. You're asking for equal rights with white people, with Asians, with Arabs. When your life every day is steeped in stupidity and ignorance. Ignorance that, there is a level of ignorance you exhibit, the world will say at least, perhaps the issue is a bit complex. This is very simple. I am asking you, you fool in the zoo, Nigeria, saying that Buhari is alive. Take these two pictures. One Buhari 2020, one Buhari 2020. Go and show it to your 6-year-old child. Let a 6-year-old child filled with innocence educate you. For you to say that these people are the same goes to show that that devil is living inside you and goes to prove the English right. When they designed that an angel of God is white and a black man is Lucifer, they are correct. Quote me right. They are correct. All of you shouting and calling God, quoting Bible, all of you that will look at these pictures and say that they are the same person. May the good Lord have mercy upon your souls. I'm telling you the truth. Total have said it. Total said in the year 2050, they will stop the production of carbon. Carbon fuel, they will stop. I ask you again, go and Google Tesla. You don't know what they do. Go to Mercedes, go to BMW. Do you know that all the cars they're making now are all electric? Some of them, you charge them for 1 hour and they can take you for 120 kilometers. Are you aware of that? Who is going to buy fuel? Are you aware of that? Do you know that Saudi Arabia have started divesting from carbon into solar? Do you know that the Saudi energy minister said they will be exporting renewable energy very soon? This is the world's largest producer of crude oil. What are you doing in the zoo? You are busy rigging election in Edo. You are busy offering yourself as a thug to go and fight and destroy a house of assembly in Edo. Your politicians are still talking about idiots, talking about water and roads, the same garbage since 1960, the same rubbish. I will give you electricity, I'll give you water, the same 3 pledges till today. Do you have electricity? The answer is no. Do you have water? The answer is no. Do you have roads? The answer is no. But they keep deceiving all of you. All of you are being, and I will tell you the reason why. A black man is doomed to fail. I will tell you tonight the reason why genetically a black man is doomed. Forget all this begging. Forget all, what we are good at is begging the white man to do something for us. Oh, please, can you hire us? Google, can you employ 40% black? Even Tesla. But when the man was racking his brain, not watching BB Niger, racking his brain how to mass produce electric cars, some of you were busy watching rubbish on television, gossiping, watching foreign teams play. Oh, in this black people, I don't know. I don't want to speak against the spirit, honestly speaking, but black people, you people like you, I don't know. In a statement announcing the write down of his Tassan's assets in Canada and pull out of the country's biggest oil lobby group, Total, French Total, said it considered oil reserves with high production costs that are to be produced more than 20 years in the future. Do you know what I said? They are all going to be stranded. No more oil. That is why Tesla is booming. People are buying electric cars. So all of you is because of our oil. Because we are our own brand of stupidity is very sweet, is very novel. I don't know the same way they name COVID-19. I think with the passage of every 2 years, the ignorance and the idiocy of a black man from Africa should have a name. Maybe novel stupidity 22. You know, the way the same way we have novel coronavirus, novel stupidity of a black man, 2022 or 23. We are useless. Useless to the core. We are useless. That somebody can look at a little boy of 25 and open his mouth to say that this person is up to 60 years old. You people are evil. And you want to know why God abandoned Africa? Do you know that since the white man left South Africa, that South Africa is now in trouble, borrowing money all over the place? Do you know that corruption is rife under Cyril Ramaphosa in South Africa? Are you aware of that? Because the whites have left. They have left governance in South Africa. A black man is in charge and they have ruined the economy. They've ruined it. This OG black. You can never think. You can never. No, people don't go back, don't go in there and sit down and think. And say, how can I be promised water, road, and electricity since 1960? For nearly 60 years, you have not seen it. Yet they call it to go and vote every blessed day, every 4 years, every 5 years. You keep recycling your ignorance and stupidity as the black baboon that you are. Do you think that if white people are racist as you claim they are? Me, I don't believe in racism. If you claim whites are racist, how come they don't use an Asian man as Lucifer? How come they don't use a Japanese or Chinese man as Lucifer? Why black man? Have you asked yourself that question before? Any day you find answer to that question, your stupidity will leave you. Because we are useless. All we do, you see grown-up black men gossiping. You see grown-up black men with degrees, they are busy somewhere gossiping. You see those that call themselves elders, they are busy gossiping. You see people who should know better, they are busy looking for what they can get from the janjaweed to put in their pocket. You are in a land where a traditional ruler, the custodian of the land, will go and bring in janjaweed. They know that the Fulanis, they portend danger for their children and their children's children. Yet they will take 1 million naira, put in the pocket and say to everybody, come, Fulani, come and build a village here. And these are sensible, reasonable people that should be respected. That should be respected. Do you see how useless a black person is? Useless to the core. Useless. Now, the same way that you gossip, you black people, the same way you gossip, you spend your time gossiping. Do white people gossip the way you do? Of course, constructive criticisms, yes. They do all of that. They fight very clean. Do you see your lives? That is why I'm warning you. Total said they are going to shut down production in 2050. So all of you banking on oil, it's now very, very clear to all of you that you're backing up the wrong horse. There is another picture I want posted. Please post it. Somebody posted it a few days ago. You've seen it. I'm not giving you something you've not seen. This is not new. Because sometimes with us black people, there is no need bringing new information. Let us go back to the old one that we have and see if we actually understood the meaning being conveyed. Is a picture about Boko Haram and people who are protesting. Some of you have seen it, it's everywhere. Some people cleverly join the two together. You can see how clean, how respected terrorists are. It deserves. If the picture is there for all to, I want to drive home one simple fact. I want to drive home the fact. I want to prove to all of you listening tonight that a black man is foolish. I want to prove it to you. I'm going to use the news happening around you to prove it to you how foolish black people are. Do you want to know how foolish they are? Come to Nigeria. In Nigeria, they celebrate terrorists. In other words, if you want to join the army very quickly, pick up a gun and start killing people. Then one day you say, I am surrendering my gun. That is a fast track into the army or the police. Your choice. Now, if you come out to say that the looting going on is wrong, that election rigging is wrong, that backwardness is wrong, that arrested development is wrong, that hunger, poverty, disease is wrong, you will be arrested by the army. They will shoot you dead if you're unlucky. They will lie you down. They will disgrace you. They will humiliate you. In this same picture, one is you will see how terrorists are. Terrorists, these are killers and murderers, how they are being treated. And you look at law-abiding, peaceful protesters, how they are being treated. In a country that claims they have constitutional democracy. I want the world to understand that if Nigeria is the most populous black nation in the world, I want the world this evening to understand how useless and foolish a black man is. That is my preaching this evening. I wanted to preach about other things, but it seems to me our brains are not open. Our brains don't receive information. We don't know how to receive information. We don't know how to process it. And we don't know how to act upon that information that we have received. That is why I have determined that a black man is useless. I would and the fact, anywhere I go to, they know me, I say it to their faces. Blacks are suffering in America because black people are useless. Blacks are suffering in Papua New Guinea. Go and check it, because we are useless. In Indonesia, blacks are being suppressed. In Australia, the Aborigines, they are blacks, they are being suppressed. If you go to the South of America, it is there. Black populations are the ones living in squalor, in penury, and in poverty. Have you ever asked yourself why? Have you? No, you won't. Because you want iPhone. You want the latest gadget. You want to hear from dead Asian people or from dead Latinos. You don't reason, your brain cannot rationalize anything. You want the biggest flat screen in the world. You never ask yourself, who made this thing? They are human beings. I can also make it. That is why they never wanted Biafra to stand in the first place. Because they know that only a Biafran can ask such a question. Only a Biafran can manufacture what they consume. The whites, they knew this. Britain knew this. That is why they suppressed Biafra. That is why if you go anywhere in the world and you say to them, I am a Biafran, they look back at, they jump back and they look at you. Do you understand it? A grown-up man, a grown-up woman living in a place where people claim there are universities. University is Mahadum, the final of the finals. That is why it's called a citadel. Citadel means the pinnacle of knowledge. People graduate through this so-called pinnacle of knowledge, this citadel, these institutions, they come out more useless than when they were in kindergarten, more hopeless, more useless, more zoo graduates. Look at the picture. Boko Haram is being celebrated. People who are campaigning for you and for me to have a better life, they are lying them down, molesting them in a democracy. Why are things this way? Some of you run away from the answer, but you know the answer. The reason is because the Fulanis are there. They can never be developed. Their nomadic nature, their primitive feudalistic system is in their bone marrow. You can never change it. I keep asking you, in all the years of their existence, how many Fulani scientists do you... I ask every day, I ask this question. How many scientists do you know? There is a saying where we come from. If a road is good, you keep taking it, isn't it? But a bad road, they'll tell you, oh, that road is bad, don't take it, isn't it? Even when you're traveling in your misery and in your suffering, and you want to travel from Enugu to Onitsha, they will tell you, no, that road is not good, please use Oji River. Is that not what you hear on the road? It's simple, because the road is not good. There is a saying before we were born, that if a road is good, people will use it more than once. I'm asking you, do you believe that the art of governance is called statecraft, is very, very complex as anything that life can throw at you? If the answer is yes, then how come people who have never produced no poet, they don't have any writers, they have no scientists? If you have seen a Fulani doctor, please show me. I have not seen one before. Please show me. I have not seen. They don't have all these things. Yet they tell you that they are good to be president. Is that not correct? They are good and you vote them in. The first time you voted them in, nothing happened. There was poverty, no progress, no improvement in people's life. You voted for them again. They went in, they impoverished you more. Because of your stupidity, now they went in, they have ruined everything. So the only thing for them to do now is to bring in terrorists. And that's what I have done. And that's why you're dying. That is why you're suffering. That is why Germany doesn't want you. That is why EU doesn't want you to come. That is why US have shut down their visa on you, even for students. That is why even UAE that came to beg zoo for money in 1976. That is why today they don't want you to visit there. Every other place in the world is developing. Why is Africa not developing? Why is the zoo not developing? Because your problem is in your brain. You don't know how to reason properly. That's all. We must continue. You are in a country where somebody will say, oh, Aisha is sick, Aisha is sick. And the husband hasn't spoken. But you're telling me the husband is alive, yes? The husband has not said anything. Somebody whose wife is sick, to the point of being flown abroad, have not said anything. In a democracy where elected officials are meant to be held accountable. In other words, all of you that went to university to read political science, I don't know what to tell you. Because we expect you to come out, to correct our ignorance, to tell us that the way things are is not the way they are supposed to be. It's not the way it's supposed to be. Now, how can, it's called common sense. One, you see, the reason why you go to school, they give you algebra, they give you arithmetic in the class. If you go to kindergarten today, your teacher will start by teaching you 1, 2, 3, 4. Have you forgotten? That's how school starts. Then after a while, the teacher will start saying 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 2 equals 4 as you're progressing. Then one day the teacher will come and say, hey, come, Chinedu, what is 1 plus 1? The teacher is asking you to see if your brain can engage. Hey, black people, black. The reason why the teacher will come back and ask you, come, you stand up, you know we have funny names like Charity. Charity, stand up, tell us what is 4 plus 4. Is to see if you can count 4 and another 4 and then count them all together to make 8. To see if your brain is working. I am sorry to say that in a black man, our brains don't work. Because if our brain were to work, it is not just 1 plus 1 or A, B, C, D or if your brain is working, your brain will tell you that this country is operating a democracy with a constitution where anybody can ask anybody any question and they will answer. How come in a transparent democracy, the wife of the president is sick? The president has not come out to address people. Do you know why he needs to address them? Because the wife has an office called the Office of the First Lady. In other words, she is being sustained by taxpayers' money. Then anything you're doing with taxpayers' money, you should tell the taxpayers. They flew her abroad, as if abroad is her home, for treatment. And then where is the husband? All of you are keeping quiet in a democracy, yes? That is what they teach you, political science, yes? I am reading poll, no, they call it poll science. That's what they teach you in your useless zoo universities. You know, they get upset sometimes because of the way I castigate zoo universities. They get upset. They gather themselves and they start gossiping because when Biafra comes, I swear to God in heaven, all of you are going back to school to go and get a proper degree. Look at them that got their degrees from the zoo. All they do is to gossip. Even those that claim they have made it to PhD, all they do is gossiping. Because when you're in school, you do cultism. Do you go to school? Of course you don't go to school. All you do is cultism. That is why the wife of a president you claim is alive can be flown abroad and no statement, no official statement. That is what Fulani Janjaweed have reduced all of you to. They have reduced your sense of reasoning. It is now beneath contempt. Dumbing down is called, if you don't know. Where is Aisha? One of his aides said, I have not been around in the State House because the office has been operating skeletal operations since COVID-19 started and I didn't get any information, but I was assured she is fine. This is an aide who is being paid to tell people where is the woman. You're an aide, A-I-D-E. You are supposed to know. You're saying, oh, since COVID, but you have been collecting salary, yes? Yes, aide. Where is Aisha Buhari? I don't know, because I've not. You are being paid as an aide to Aisha Buhari. Where is she? Oh, I don't know, because we have been running skeletal operation. Sometimes I pray and I ask God, but where did you get these people from? Did you purposely send Lugard to come and create this mess, or what? What sort of human, what sort of idiot, what sort of animals are these? She runs this was a woman sharing COVID-19. It wasn't her money. Taxpayers' money. Money from oil and gas. In other words, she is answerable to the public. Now, where is she? She has flown abroad. So all the years of promising free healthcare, equipping us a rock clinic with 3 billion. Where is the money is gone? They claim that the reps are investigating everybody. And I'm asking them, why are you not investigating Asorok Clinic? Why not? If Asorok Clinic were to be, what is Aisha doing abroad? Ordinary neck, they said it's neck pain. Ordinary neck. To tell you how foolish Nigerians are. To tell you how hopeless they are. You know, the worst thing in life is that when you're foolish, and you're basking in your foolishness and stupidity, and you don't know how daft you sound and appear to those who are watching you. I don't want to even get to Sibajo. That will be later. Aisha Buhari, ordinary neck pain. You people are running a feudal system, a Fulani Janjaweed. You call it democracy. All of you are daft. We are intellectuals. We are the elite. You will see one baboon writing rubbish, writing an article, writing a column. They have spent 13 years researching. I research nothing. I speak off the record all the time. Has anyone ever seen me before reading from a script or from a speech anywhere I've been to before? Can anyone point to any video of any of my trips I visited the whole world over? Have you seen me before reading from a written statement ever before? Those of you who have witnessed me broadcast live, have you ever seen me before reading from a script? Only when I'm reading a headline to analyze? You have idiots that claim that they are PhD. They're in Abuja, professional petition writers writing rubbish. Ask them to defend the garbage they've written, they cannot defend it. They are in a democracy. All that matters to people who claim they are learned. Some are ambassadors, some are this. All that matters, it is our turn. When you see grown-up people talking about rotational presidency, I feel sorry for them. All the places where they are going to buy houses and hide their money, do those people operate rotational presidency? We are dying for American visa. Is Donald Trump your uncle? Is he from your village? You know we don't reason. Black people don't reason. And when you want to correct them, you know, you will see their stupidity going to a higher gear. All I do for you useless niggers is to pray for you, for God to have mercy upon your wretched ignorance. Because believe you me, sometimes when I see fellow black people, I get upset. I wonder how it will be with whites, people who cannot reason. You have a stream near your house, ordinary stream. I remember when I went to I said to them, do you know we can buy a pump? Do you know we can lay pipes to every home and give clean spring water to every home? All we need to do is to lay pipes and use sumo, very powerful one, and pump water to every home. Do you know that villagers cannot do that at home? Villages cannot do it. But they have billionaires, you know. Every time they go to borehole to go and drink. But there are natural spring water in our communities. All we need to do is to pipe the water. It's cheaper than borehole to everybody. And use solar to run it. We cannot do it. We cannot. We can never ever do it. That is the extent of our stupidity because we are in a zoo. That is why they don't want to let us go. They know that any day Biafra stands on its own. Believe you me, I swear before God in heaven, Fulani will be ashamed of the existence on this earth. Because we will show the world what black people can do. That is why they are all against us. Everybody. It is called dumbing down. You know, it's like having a principal. You know, when you're a principal of a school or headmaster, they expect the children of headmasters to be very brilliant. And you're a headmaster and your child is very dumb. Very, very dumb. Cannot pass. Do you know what the headmaster does or principal? They will say that everybody, if you have passed or failed, must move to the next grade. Are you listening? That is what they're doing. It's called dumbing down. So everybody that failed with their child should now be protected. But we know that where we come from. If you fail, you repeat. But when your father is the principal of the school and you are a failure, what your father will say to the examiners is, let everybody that has failed, if you've passed, you failed, should be carried, should move, please move to the next class. True or false, go and ask. It's called dumbing down. That's what the Fulanis have done to you, all of you. What the Fulanis did was to reduce your reasoning to their level. You're not reasoning like cows, all of you. Some of you that can still mumble something together in your empty skull, you then delve into gossip. That is how to keep you busy and occupied. Where is Aisha? Has gone abroad. These are the people that ask you to vote for them. When they are sick, they go abroad. You that is foolish enough to be voting for them, when you're sick, where do you go to? You die in a community hospital. That's how daft some of you are. We must continue. A man that I have regard for, I just hope and pray that he never ever changes. He has spoken. And I want to refer to what he said in bringing you this very next news I'm about to bring to you. It is Professor Akintoye. He is fighting, he is speaking a lot of sense. That's why I like him. He makes a lot of sense. Professor Akintoye, that's his name. He's a Oduduwa man. Yoruba to some of you, but to me he's a Oduduwa. I want you to understand what this man said. Very, very critical, very, very important that you follow what this man said. Do you know what, excuse me, what Professor Akintoye said? Professor Akintoye said that he is no longer interested in restructuring. That what is needed, as if he was trying, he's reading our mind, is negotiations amongst ethnic groups. You know, sometimes they say to you, why don't we have confab? You don't need the confab. You don't need restructuring. Because the country itself, the zoo, is owned by the people who are in it, not by those in Asorok. If they refuse to give you what you want, you demand for it. You just don't demand. You go ahead and hold your own confab and say to hell with them. Now, do you understand? Now, do you understand? Do all of you understand? That is what Professor Akintoye is saying. Professor Akintoye is saying that for nearly 50 years, he was an advocate of restructuring. And the Fulanis have persistently refused to restructure. When Ojukwu went to Aburi, as they were lying to you before we came, they told you Ojukwu went to war. If they wanted Biafra, they seceded. The British lie, I call it. Lies upon lies. It was here on this very platform, on this radio, Biafra, and on all other places where people are doing marvelous work, I must tell you. Some people are doing some marvelous work. Not necessarily on this very platform, but elsewhere on their Facebook pages. They are doing wonderful work, and we must commend all of them. Do you know what we have succeeded in doing? Now people understand, at least today. It is very clear. The understanding is there. Ojukwu never seceded. Ojukwu never went to war. Ojukwu went for restructuring in Aburi. Restructuring was agreed. Ojukwu came back. Gowon reneged on it. Is that very clear? Is that very clear now for all of you to understand? Is that very, very clear for all of you to understand? But for very many years, the lie was that Ojukwu reneged on, he came back, he declared Biafra. A blatant lie, which liars and deceivers and gossipers have been peddling for years until we came. Until Chukwu Kikabiama determined that we should come to put that very narrative straight. And we have succeeded. Nigeria needs negotiations amongst ethnic groups, not restructuring. Professor Akintoye. That is how people that went to school, that is how they reason. You reason. Do you know why this professor? Because the professor said, we have been waiting for restructuring. Every time restructuring, nothing has been happening. That means there is no will amongst those who control the levers of power to make the necessary change for us to see improvements in the life of ordinary people. Because of that, what we now need is no longer restructuring, because it is no longer capable of solving the problems facing the Yoruba race in Nigeria, as well as other, they are now using our language, which I welcome, oppressed ethnic nationalities. The professor of history said that rather than agitating for restructuring, this is a Yoruba man, rather than agitating for restructuring, what zoo leaders needed to do now is a negotiation. You can't negotiate with other groups. You can go to the neighbors and negotiate with them. Who are these idiots in Asorok? There is nobody there. There is no president. There is no vice. Where is Osibajo? He doesn't exist. Where is Buhari? Of course, he is the new mask. Anybody who can wear a mask can be Buhari. Where is the wife? She's having neck pain. Ordinary neck pain. She is abroad. All of you are mopishly, foolishly, idiotically in the zoo, doing what you do best. Behaving like the animals that you are. Behaving like the animals that you are in the zoo. Shameless people. He is a professor of history. One of the few men worthy to be listened to. He said, I respect people who are asking for restructuring, but I belong to the large number of Yoruba people who have come to the conclusion that restructuring is no longer capable of solving the problems of the Nigerian people, the zoo people, as I call them. Tinubu was an advocate of restructuring. Professor Wole Soyinka was an ardent advocate of restructuring. His own was Sovereign National Conference. Do you know that Tinubu said that he will not accept Abdul Salami Abubakar's constitution? That he wanted Sovereign National Conference? But a typical black baboon, a typical black monkey, a typical black man, once he got into office and he started receiving allocation, he now realized, oh, rather than peddling drugs in Chicago, I am better off now as a multi-billionaire by playing politics. That is why bullion vans can come to his house. These are the things that some of you don't know. These are the things that we are teaching you on Radio Biafra. You cannot hear it anywhere else. Professor Akintoye is, and I support him, restructuring is a debate for idiots. Let us negotiate separately ethnic nationalities. To hell with them. How many are there in Asarok? How many are the Fulani? Are they up to 10 million? That they're making all our lives a misery. And all you can do is to gossip, to watch Big Brother, to yap rubbish all the time. And to look for girls to sell in Libya. Ndoshi. Criminals without shame. Aisha Buhari is not sick. This is a country, they are now telling us she's not sick. Then why is she abroad? Do you stealing money? More money? More than she stole from Halliburton? More money, I'm asking you. She's stealing more money. Unbelievable. The time now is 10 minutes past 8 p.m. in the land. 10 minutes past 8 p.m. in the land of Biafra. And the same number, 10 minutes past the top of the hour. This is the woman pointing, telling you for very many years that her husband is dead. None of you were able to reason. No, I say none. She will come out and say, oh, Nigerian men, where are you? They have taken over my husband's government. All of you, they are as foolish as the useless universities you went to. You came out as hopeless as ever. All you need to do is to gossip. The woman was telling you there. Telling you every blessed day, my husband is no longer here. When Aisha realized how stupid all of you were, she joined them now. She started eating her own money. Okay. And now the son, Yusuf, is the 4th richest man in Africa. And you are there. Spending, you beg those abroad to send you money. And we struggle and we send you money. You use it to go and call phone for BB Niger. Big brother. Your own age, you're a little boy like Yusuf Buhari is the 4th richest man in Africa, little boy. Courtesy of the criminality of the Buhari family. But all of you, oh, he's a general. He has no cow. He has no goat. Because despite teaching you 1 + 1 = 2, any day the teacher will make mistake to ask you, what is 1 + 8? You fall apart. You say, oh teacher, but you never taught me about 1 + 8. All you taught me was 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 +. You see how daft we are. How daft we are. Restructuring. Only idiots talk about restructuring. I'm telling you, only fools talk about restructuring. It's an argument for idiots. Let the ethnic nationalities that make up the zoo that Lugard brought together sit down and say to hell with Asorok. What would they do? Instead, they can go to Ghana and hold it in Ghana. Anywhere else. Mad people. Everywhere. And you think can support your useless, idiotic zoo? You are foolish. I now want to tell you the problem with a black man. Ignorance, stupidity, jealousy, and envy. These are the burden. These are the burden bedeviling a black man and a black woman alike. Envy. The thing they know they cannot do. A black man, they know they cannot do that thing. You see how they cherish and how they love. The only place in the world where you have people that hate Messi or that hate Ronaldo is only now in Africa. If you go abroad, white, they value his talent, they love it. People want him to come and play for their clubs everywhere. It is only in Africa that somebody will go on social media and say, oh, I hate Messi. Only in Africa. And you ask the idiot, why do you hate him? I just hate him. I hate him because he is not Ronaldo. Or, do you see? I'm not using a black man as an example. I want to use a white person. I want you to go through all the social media around the world. The only people that will come out and say they hate somebody who is talented is a black person. Go and check. Anywhere in the world. Because of our ignorance, stupidity, jealousy, and envy, a black man. Even in our villages, the reason why, we kept researching. I kept asking God, but why? Not just God, I was studying as well. Oh. The great philosophers. I kept wondering, but why is a black man really stupid? Is it not the same, brain cells that we have? It's not the same genetic makeup with white people. After all, whites came from black. So what is the problem? I kept asking until it became very clear that the reason why a black man is foolish is because they are ignorant, they are very stupid, they are very jealous, and they are envious for no reason. You will see somebody come out and we hate IPOB. Why? Because they are not a coordinator. Because they have not done what Nnamdi, Kanu, UGMF4 and the rest have done. They cannot do it. And because I cannot do that thing you have done, let me hate you. That's a black man for you. That's why they're evil. That's why they're evil. Why did they not allow us to have Biafra? Because of jealousy. Oh, they have oil and gas, so they can go now and become rich. I want to let you understand how the brain of a black person works. Just simple jealousy. That man that you hate, why do you hate him? Because he's successful and I'm not. And once a black man is in that frame of mind, they will do anything, they will say anything, they will poison you, they will kill you. Even some women do it. Because he's not my son. Thank God, he went abroad and he came back. You will come back to your house from overseas and they expect you to spend only 3 weeks at home. After Christmas, you go back. Once you don't go back, the same people saying, oh, my son, you're back. What did you bring from us? What did you bring for us from Malaysia, from Indonesia? And others are going back 4th of January and you're still at home 15th. Are you sure they didn't deport him? Somebody in his father's compound. Are you sure he wasn't deported? They dive into gossip immediately. That is who we are. And that is the type of rubbish that will not follow us into Biafra. They must understand that. And they must know how serious we are. This thing, we must, I am preaching, this wasn't what I don't know why. I never wanted to preach this tonight. As I sat here behind this microphone, but I must preach it. That is where you must get rid of your ignorance, your stupidity, your jealousy, and your enviousness. You can never be like us. We run the largest mass movement on the face of the earth. IPOB is a monster the whole world over. You cannot, if you're not chosen by God to do this, you cannot do it. Do you think I do what I do out of my own power? Is that what you think? No, of course not. For somebody to mobilize Biafrans all over the world, you need divine intervention. You can't do because they are one of the most difficult races on the face of the earth. Die-hard Republicans. You must always convince them with reason and consistency. That is what we have done. That is why they follow us. Do you understand? Not Rankadedeo. That's why they follow us. Now, I want you to listen to this. In our towns, in our villages, even in our businesses, where we are living today, the problem we face is because of black man's. Look, one of the few comedians that I like watching, Skibo, with his 2 teeth. Skibo, I watch Skibo. He's a comedian. With Mbise, a very lovely Mbise accent. I watched Skibo. And he was talking about, not just him, a few other people who did live video, saying what we are doing to ourselves. What we are doing to ourselves. Who do you think, when they go to arrest people in Malaysia, who do you think is responsible? Sometimes your fellow Igbo man, or fellow Biafran, or fellow Nigerian. Because maybe you're doing something and you are more successful than they are. You know what they will do? They'll go and tell the police, please come and take him home. So I can take the wife and you don't know what they do again? Don't tell anybody that your papers have expired. Don't tell anybody your papers have expired and your wife is pretty. You are finished. You are finished. The next thing they will go for is, how do we get this man into trouble so we can take the wife? A black man's greed, envy, and jealousy. But look at where everywhere white people go to. If you like now, go to Europe, bring a few white people, put them in the thickest forest in your village. Come back after 2 weeks. I say only 2 weeks. They will turn it into another Paris. In your village, without importing anything. And you're telling me that God is not alive in heaven. Why? The question I want to ask, I want people to understand that anything we preach here on this platform is gospel from heaven. Do you know the level of hypocrisy in the zoo? What I'm preaching tonight is about the wickedness of a black man, their stupidity, their ignorance, their jealousy and enviousness. And I want to prove to you that it is because of a combination of all these things. That is why you can never rise up to defend what is good. A black man cannot rise up to defend that which is right unless they are benefiting from it directly, especially in the zoo. Now, there is something called equity, fairness, and justice, which is which is natural justice that should underpin every civilized society. Fairness and justice everywhere you go to. Any society that has fairness and justice, you will see them, they will improve. Now, listen. Olisametu is in prison. Olisametu was the former PDP spokesperson. Why is Olisametu in prison? They said Olisametu received 400 million naira or not dollars, naira, from Dasuki. Olisametu, in keeping with, of course, what I call the demands of democracy, which is to criticize, of course. Olisametu was criticizing the late Buhari before he died. Buhari felt offended because he's a dictator and asked for Olisametu to be arrested. That Olisametu received 400 million naira from Dasuki. Good. 400 million. Olisametu is in jail. Olisametu got that money to fight PDP. The money was given to Olisametu by PDP, not government, by PDP. Understand this? Party politics, money for party politics, yes? The same way that Trump can come and, they pay advertisers in the USA. It's a very expensive business to run a campaign. The same way that perhaps the chief campaign manager for the Republican Party will go and take money from the Republican Party, of which Trump is the head, to go and fund campaign. I'm not saying from the budget. These are money donated or contributed by people. But they do things differently in the zoo. In the zoo, things are done different. Now listen carefully, please, to Olisametu's case. Olisametu was jailed, tried and jailed by a Biafran judge. Understand this so very well. The reason why Abang jailed Olisametu was because Abang was ignorant, stupid, jealous, and envious of Olisametu. How come this my classmate can be doing very well? They are hearing his name everywhere. I'm going to jail him. Why am I saying this? Because no Fulani judge, listen carefully, no Fulani judge has ever jailed a Fulani politician for corruption. And who are the most corrupt people in the zoo? I don't know the Fulani people. They used I want people to understand that even judges who are in the zoo suffer from the same disease as ordinary people on the ground. Are you all following me? Do you see how corrupt they are? Do you see what envy and jealousy can do? Abang was Olisametu's classmate. But because this man, I'm just a judge, it's only when I when I go to election tribunal and get some money. But you are doing very well. They are hearing your name everywhere. You're a big wig in PDP, so I'm going to jail you. A Biafran. Do you see, that, we Biafrans, other people, they have their own traitors, but our own is a special breed. Possessed. Judge Abang jailed his own brother to please his Fulani masters, yes? But no Fulani, the thing about treachery, sabo, their ignorance and stupidity is that they never reason. Just like when the IGBO governors, I wouldn't say IGBO because Wike wasn't amongst them, neither was Ifeanyi Okowa. When they gathered together, Southeast governors, to proscribe IPOB, Not that we did anything wrong, but because, Nnamdi Kanu was becoming too popular. They are everywhere. Everywhere you go, they don't want us to hear. It's always IPOB Nnamdi Kanu all the time. Please, let us call the Fulanis to kill him. These are governors that people voted for. Are you listening? But in all the years of OPC agitation, in all the years of the agitation of my fellow Biafrans in the Delta, in the creeks, in southern Biafra, let me put it that way, at no time did their governors gather to give them away. Never. Yoruba governors never sat together. On BOBZY, in the middle belt, no time did the governors sit together and say, let us give them or invite soldiers to come and kill them. It's only in the southeast. Ask yourself why. Any day you understand that, you will begin to unravel the mystery of what envy and jealousy can do to the brain of a black man, especially an Igbo man. Very deadly. Very, very deadly. Or should I say in a Biafran? It's very deadly and brutal. Now listen. Olisametu is in jail, 400 million naira. Given, not hidden, given to him in broad daylight to go and run PDP campaign. Somebody else called Ize Iyamu received 700 million from the same Dasuki. But today he is the APC candidate in Edo State. He is not in jail. He's in APC. Where your corruptions are, where all the sins of corruption are forgiven. You're wiped clean. He took more than Olisametu. Now, there is no equity and fairness. You cannot put Olisametu in jail for 400 million, whereas Ize Iyamu collected 700 million from the same Dasuki. Today, he is contesting to be a governor. Tell me the justice in that. And tell me why I must try to be a Nigerian citizen. Just tell me why. My own brother is in jail. He's a Yamu. I don't know if he's from, maybe he's from Igodomi, then he might be a brother. I don't know. Olisametu is in jail for 400 million. Somebody collected 700 million, but he's not in jail. And you're telling me that there is equity and fairness in such a place. You're telling me that such a zoo is not supposed to burn and fall. You're telling me that such a country should stand blatant in broad daylight. How many people are I was castigating Olisametu before he was sent to jail. Let me ask you, how many of his fellow politicians are campaigning for him to come out? How many, I'm asking? Olisametu did nothing. Only all that Fulani needs to hang you is to get your brother who is jealous of your achievement. That is all they need. That is the only thing they need. That is, or what child, the only thing they need. That is all. When they came after Olisametu, did they use one Mustafa Al-Ibrahim to jail him? No. They used Aban, a Biafran. Do you know, people don't know this, people talk about prescription of IPOB and labeling of IPOB a terrorist organization. Do you know that it was not the Fulani that first prescribed IPOB? It was Igbo governors. Are you aware of that? Governors of the Southeast, are you aware of that? Before anybody else. They sat down and their concern was that, unbelievable. 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 That is what you need. Once you tap into the brain, do you remember that woman that shot Martin Luther King? She was a black woman, Do you know who killed Malcolm X? Some black people. They said they had issues with him, Elijah Muhammad, and they killed him. Blacks. Who killed Biggie? Black people. Who killed Tupac? Shakur? Black people. That's the way we are. That's how we roll. Our envious nature is destructive. Very, very destructive. Two people. That is why, in those days when we used to castigate Ohanes and all the rest of them, it's because of cases like this. Yeah, Olisametu is the only politician convicted and serving in prison. The only one. And the rest are all Christians. There is no Muslim there. No, of course not. Ibrahim Lamode, $5 billion gone. EFCC. All of them are all thieves. Everybody's a rogue. Oshiba just himself took trader money. Everybody's on the run. Now you understand the zoo that some of you claim you're one Nigeria. Do you see how foolish you are, how useless you are? Do you see how daft you are, all of you? Defending the indefensible. Somebody collected 400 million, is in jail. Somebody took several million, got the flag from their presidency to go and contest for governorship. And you're telling me that sensible people should belong to such a country? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Zoo animals, is that what you're telling me? Zoo animals. Are you telling me that I should belong to a country where you gave somebody 400 million, he's in jail. You gave another person 700 million, the person is a saint outside. You know, people were saying, oh, they're insulting elders. They never knew the reason why. We are not, nobody should, please, nobody should castigate anybody or deride them, leave them. Please, it's an order, leave them. And as we are busy gossiping, you know, Ipob, my pastor is gossiping, we love it. We don't play with our gossip. Our vigilantes are already embedded in 36 states according to Mietiala. Everywhere they are there. And now ask yourself, have you used your two naked eyes to see any Janjaweed vigilante before in your village? I believe the answer is no. Have you seen them in the towns? The answer is no. Who are they referring to? That time that your teacher was teaching you 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4. One day the teacher will come and ask you, please, Charity, what is 1 + 3? The teacher is expecting you to say 4. It is not only when the teacher says 1 + 3 = 4 that you will know, because you've been given the basics, the fundamentals. I don't know if I'm making any sense. You have been given the foundation. You have been taught how to add, addition, or even multiplication. 3 times 3 = 9. They expect you. So any day I come and I'll say to you, 2 times 2 is what? I expect you to use the same principle you used in 3 times 3 to tell me what the answer is to 2 times 2. It's common sense. Black people. How do I explain this? When Mietiala said, we have our vigilantes planted everywhere, and you go outside, you don't see any Janjaweed, no Fulani man with his dagger, bow and arrow, or maybe AK-47. You come out the next day, you don't see any Fulani with a gun standing outside, dressed like somebody who has gone to milk cow. Now, and they keep saying they're everywhere. Is it not your responsibility to come back and ask yourself, but every day they keep saying they're everywhere. But where are they? I can't see them. Now I am expecting you. I am expecting you now to reason. Ask yourself, who are Mietiala referring to? All those years your teacher was teaching you how to add. It's called comprehension, how to reason. Since they say they are everywhere, when you come outside you cannot see them, ask yourself, then who are they? Only then will the answer strike you. They are in the police, they are in the army, they are in civil defense. See, common sense. Because only these people are in all the 36 states of the Zoological Republic. Common sense. What Mietiala is telling you is this: that they have taken over the police, the army, civil defense, mobile police, DSS, name it. They are everywhere. Their eyes are everywhere. You don't need Fulani Mietiala to be in your village. The village DSS is in your village. Telling you who will be your chairman. They send your police commissioner. All the police commissioners, they are working for them. including the one in Abia. They are working for them from Yetiala. They will tell me after. Remember, there was a lockdown. Now listen to this. There was lockdown, isn't it? They said no movement. But trailers were coming from the north. You have all forgotten, haven't you? You have gossiped your lives away. You have forgotten all those trailers that we are coming in. All of you have all forgotten, haven't you? We are there. There was checkpoint everywhere in Obolafo. How come they broke the cordon? They came in. Who were at those checkpoints? You said, the police are now. Do you know that the police were now giving them escort to go to Calabar, to go to Uyo, to go to Ikotepene, to go to Ekom? Are you aware of that? Escort. When Mietiala is telling you we are everywhere, they are not saying when you come outside you will see us with our bow and arrow. When you come out, any policeman you see is working for Mietiala. You see the army, they are working for Mietiala. You see mobile police, Mietiala. Sometimes, some of them don't even know they're working for Mietiala. They have no idea. Do you know that Mietiala is the 4th most deadly terrorist group in the world? They are coming out and telling you, it's just like, I don't know how to put it. Maybe, I can't even compare it to anything else in the world. I can't. ISIS saying we are forming vigilante. ISIS. This is what they are doing to you. Do you know why they can get away with this type of information? They can come out and say it and get away. It's because they know you are foolish. Believe you me, they fully understand the depth of stupidity of an average zoo animal, the Nigerian. That is why they can say, because they know that from now till their kingdom come, there is no way, because every day you come and say, Nani, have you seen Mietiala Vigilante? Nani will tell you no. They know that's how you reason. They know you can never for one day think to yourself and say, no, it's not Fulani, physical Fulani, Mietiala. It is their police, their army, their DSS, their civil defense, their mobile police. Everything is them. They have taken you over. It took them years to plan it. They have perfected it. The reason why they are now in a hurry was because Buhari died in 2017. That's why now they are in a hurry. They know they can no longer control the narrative anymore. Had Buhari remained alive, what they planned to do was after Buhari, they will hand over to another Muslim, to Tinubu, who will continue their program of Fulanization, or should I say Islamization. Now all that has been blown out of the water because Buhari died in office. Abba Kyari took over to complete it. Abba Kyari died. Now do you understand? Do you see the way they roll? Do you see how they do it? Because they know you can never ever. They don't. Let me tell you why they prescribed IPOB. Governors did it out of jealousy. They said I was more popular than them. Because of that, they had to kill me or remove me from the scene. That was number one. Number two, the attacking of IPOB as a terrorist group was to clip our wings, to stop us from growing all over the world, to stop our source of funding. What they wanted to do was to get EU to agree, get US to agree, to shut down IPOB funding. Do you know they've been doing that to us in the UK? Ask our coordinators, both UK national and the Southeast regional coordinator. Ask them, how many times have they shut down IPOB account? For no reason. The bank would just start and say, no, we are not, we no longer want to do business with you. Because Fulanis are as stupid, of course, the British are advising them. The British told them, proscribe IPOB, not proscribe, tag IPOB a terrorist group. That way, you stop people from identifying with them. You make it harder for them to source for funding abroad. But we are more clever than they are. Once EU said IPOB is not a terrorist group, US said it, UK even said it, it was the game over for them. Now you understand the way we roll. Now listen. Our vigilantes are everywhere in all the 36 states. Can you imagine anybody coming out and saying, we have vigilante? The first thing you hear is Tanko Yakasai. And the other idiot, I don't know what the idiot's name is. One is Tanko Yakasai, the other one is Junaid Mohammed. Hey, they want to start war. They want to take over everywhere. They are domineering. But now they say they are everywhere. Fulani is not domineering. They don't want to take over everywhere. Are you listening to do people read? Sometimes I wonder, when you read all this type of news, do you reason at all? Do some of you actually go back to ask yourselves, this thing I'm hearing is too ridiculous. Is it true or false? Now, do you understand? Now, do you understand? I ask you. Now, I believe it's becoming much more clear, isn't it? Envy and jealousy. They are those that wanted IPOB banned. They started celebrating. Why? Because they cannot be Nnamdi Kanu. They cannot be like IPOB. They cannot float a movement as a small flower. They know they cannot do it. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. Not forever and ever. They can never do it. They know it very well. So what do? We better gossip. And but unfortunately for them, the more they gossip about us, the more popular we become. The more people want to listen to us. The more they become converted. The more they come into IPOB. The more they help fund this very project. That's the irony of the whole thing. Hey, we are decimating the zoo. The main concern of your efulefu is to how to badmouth people to gain relevance or to curry favor before their Fulani masters. But there are Fulani in your villages. Everywhere, they have said it here. We are everywhere. And very soon they will strike. And before you know it, all of you become like Hausa people. With MS in your villages. Go and ask those in Jos. And who are the people? How did all this problem come about? This is every day I ask myself, and somebody very cleverly, I had to do a research. I went back to last 2 years, not even last year, last 2 years, somebody wrote something about proxy war involving Fulani headsmen. I went, because the thing is, they said if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. Because they know with the people, they know we don't read, they know we don't research. Even when we read or try to articulate our way out of a mess, to act upon our findings becomes very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Now listen. Somebody wrote in 2018, there is proxy war going on in Nigeria. Fulani headsmen are being used to fight and kill non-Muslims in Middle Belt region, the southern part of the country, of course, which includes Biafran, in the guise of protecting their cattle. This person went on to write, United Nations has a tradition of keeping quiet over atrocities being committed in Nigeria. We call on world powers, especially United States, to launch more military strikes on rapist terrorist gangs who hide under religion to perpetrate heinous crimes. That is something the world don't know. I will tell you tonight. Some of you don't know this, but this is how they operate. I have told you before, but maybe some of us are very deaf and very useless. Now listen. Fulani has a war chest of over $20 billion. Do you know what they do with the war chest? They give it to their consultants in Europe, in North America, in South America, in Africa, in Asia, in Australia. You know what they do? They give them money, but not only that. I told you before, I want you to name one major country in the world, and I will tell you the part of the Zouk sovereignty they are controlling. I said name one country. Any major country you name in the world, I will tell you a lucrative contract that Zoo gave to them. Do you know why they gave them those contracts? Because they knew a time will come when Biafra will rise up, that will go all around the world seeking for attention, seeking for help, seeking for support. So what they did is to try to stop us, even in Israel. I witnessed this myself in Israel. They now what they do is they go to they come into a country. The Zoo ambassador there will find out 1 or 2 or 3 companies and tell them, Nigeria is very corrupt, come, we'll give you business there. Don't worry, you make so much money. Do you remember when Trump went into power? Trump said, my friends are making ridiculous money in Africa. Have you forgotten when he said it? Somebody should go and find that very clip. Trump said, that Africa is so corrupt, my friends are making money in Africa. Now, those friends of Donald Trump, anytime we go to America, including the consultancy firms. They are the ones lobbying the American government, lobbying them. IPOB is a terrorist group. Don't listen to them. They want to secede. Now you understand the way they roll. If you go to Canada, the same. They have given concession to some Canadian companies. Come and clean Ogoni land. Come and do this. They have that. You come to Europe, the same thing. Britain is Baba. They are there. Is it Dutch? Holland. Holland, they are the owners of Shell now with the UK. That's why they're called Royal Dutch. Have you forgotten? So if you go to Holland to go and lobby their politicians, the businessmen will come out and say, don't go there. We're making so much money. Do you want us to lose money from there? The politician will not turn around and say, no, I can't help you. Go, we want Nigeria to remain one. Is it Germany? Germany has Siemens. Germany has Julius Berger. Do you want them to lose that contract? Of course not. If sacrificing a bunch of monkeys, a bunch of niggers from there called Biafrans, then so be it. I said name the country. Is it Israel with their defense contracts? It was Israel that built the defense surveillance system in Asarok that made it impregnable. They are the ones that introduced that biometric lock system whereby if the genuine president is in his office in Asarok, no army can take it over. You can't break the door down. You cannot break it down. That was when they told that a cockroach, look at it, 200 million people, they told that a cockroach drove the president away. You all believe them. Cockroach and mice. 200 million people. Somebody came out and told that a cockroach drove a president out of his office. All of you believed it. Because you're all comedians. You love laughing at your stupidity. Thankfully, we have IPOB and thankfully Biafra is coming. The Fulani, you know what they did at the UN? They gave only Kalamad, you know that woman Kalamad, the rapporteur, special rapporteur on torture and enforced disappearance. She was the only one that wasn't bribed. Do you know that Kalamad was supposed to issue her substantive report in June? Gone. That report hasn't come out because her preliminary report was not acceptable to some people in the UN. Because there she said that Biafrans were being killed. IPOB were being massacred. This is a report by UN rapporteur. The report's everywhere. The substantive report we are still waiting till today. We have not seen. Do you know what the Fulanis do? They give money, they bribe, they throw money everywhere. And they will tell my friend, if you want to make money, go and support Nigeria against Biafra. They will be giving you money. Some of you don't know this. Some of you are so idiotic, you're so moronic. We are completing a budget of $20 billion. Are you aware of that? The only thing we succeeded in doing was pressuring the world not to give arms to the zoo. Because it was in plain, in black and white. They are working with the terrorists. Everybody knows that. Who doesn't know that? Who doesn't know? Only the fools don't know. The menace of sponsored Fulani terrorist headsmen took a new dimension in 2015. As soon as Buhari came in 2015, Fulani headsmen emerged. Were they there before? They only used Boko Haram to chase away Jonathan. They now brought in the main army of darkness. Fulani Janjaweed headsmen. Mieti Allah. Some of you were born into stupidity. And some of you will die in stupidity. Some of you will live life and die without being able to reason, without being able to comprehend, without being able to understand, without being able to act upon reason. Do you know Sorok is empty? A head of state in a democracy cannot address anybody. He came out with face mask and his ear was almost falling off. You knew that was rubber. Everybody with common sense knew that was rubber. That is not the way a noble human ear behaves. You have seen them with the fake, the hyper reality. You have seen it. The hyper reality. You have seen it. The double ear. You know. You are a graduate. You are a PhD holder. Yet, don't you ever wonder that despite all your degrees, your stupidity always overrides your common sense? That something you're supposed to see, you cannot see. Even when you see it, you excuse it. Now you know why they want us killed. Now you understand, don't you? Now you know how formidable we are. Ndara. Mad people everywhere. That is why we decimate them. We shred them. I want you to listen to this very man, to what he has to say. Listen very carefully to him, please, to what he has to say. He's not a Biafran. People are now beginning to reason, thanks to what we are doing, thanks to Radio Biafra, to IPOB. A lot of people are now reasoning. They are now beginning to realize that that thing they taught them in kindergarten, that 1 + 1 is indeed equals 2. That 1 + 3 is 4. Your teacher doesn't have to tell you that. All you need to do is the addition. Hi, these UG black people. Black. Listen carefully, please. Let me play this for you.
General of Nigeria
Listen.
Today is a Fulani man.
Listen.
The Immigration General of Nigeria today is a Fulani man.
They are not herdsmen, are they?
They're not herdsmen. No, people controlling the influx of other things into the country.
Yes.
You think that they have a hand in it?
I'm still coming. I want to make monumental revelations.
Listen.
Permit me.
By all means, go ahead.
Okay. They are the ones here. The Minister of Defense is a Fulani man.
Fulani.
The National Security Advisor is a Fulani man.
This is not a Biafran, no. Please, this is not a Biafran. His name is Yemi Akinwumi. He is the Deputy National Chairman of PDP. Is it Southwest or South? South. Yemi Akinwumi. Do you know my happiness is that learned Yoruba people are now rising up. That is my Oduduwa people. They are now coming out. Learned people. You see, from the way the man is speaking, you can see that he thought about what he's saying very carefully before saying it. Let us listen to him, please. And let the whole world bear us witness that people cannot, ordinary 1 + 1. When president is Fulani, Chief of Defense Staff Fulani, Army Fulani, Customs Fulani, Chief Justice Fulani, Attorney General Fulani, Head of Appeal Court Fulani, Head of everything Fulani. Why won't that tell you that they have an agenda? I can't understand it. Because if they don't have an agenda, why would Fulani be everywhere? Do you reason? IG of Police Fulani, DG, DSS Fulani. Even those who are not qualified, if they come, they remove you. If you come, they remove you, they put Fulani. I'm asking 200 million people. Does it mean that all of you cannot, your brains cannot come together to reason? There must be a project behind this Fulani everywhere agenda. Why do you think a Fulani man is head of customs? Why do you think they built a dry dock in Kaduna so they can move sealed containers of arms and ammunition all the way to Kaduna? Have you all forgotten there was a report indicting Turkey of supplying arms to Boko Haram? All of you, I don't know where your brains have gone to, and that is why I said, let me tell you the truth. As soon as Biafra comes, you see school, unis like University of Nigeria and Soka, Imo State University, we will turn them into secondary schools, boarding house. Secondary school, that's what they will be. They will be like government college. They will be like boarding house where people go and study. They will be just boarding schools. They are not qualified to be called universities. I'm telling you the truth. All these things you see, Futo, all these places, they will be converted to secondary schools. We will build proper universities so that when you go there and you pass out, you know you've been through university. How can you be in a country where President Fulani, Head of Army Fulani, Defense Staff, everything is Fulani, and you think they are doing it because only Fulanis can occupy it? They are doing it because they have an agenda. And the agenda is Fulani, headsmen, Minyet Yala, terrorism. To kill you and take over your land, to Islamize you, the same way they are now planning to plant an emir in Just, to come to your village and plant an emir. They did, you know, the funniest thing is that you don't, they did the same rubbish to Hausa people. Hausa people never had emirs before. I keep repeating this. They are fighting now in Borno. That is where Boko Haram is most active, because they are Kanuri people. Fulani want to take them over as well. You people are deaf. You don't want to hear until it happens to you. Go to Munuch. Go to Lok Uku or Lok Anta. Go to Ukwa. you see what is happening, then your eyes will open. If at all it will. If envy and jealousy can allow it to open. That is. Let us listen to this man on security situation in the zoo. That you may learn, that some of you may learn. That you may learn. All of you. You have somebody, you have people who claim they can reason. They claim they have brain, you know. That is the funniest part of it all. You have a brain in your skull. And there is no Fulani headsman who has been jailed. No high-profile trial of Boko Haram cases. Are you still in the zoo? And you're telling me you're a human being, you can reason very well? Oh, dear me. Let's continue.
The National Security Advisor is a Fulani man.
NSA.
Why should it be so? To start with. The Inspector General of Police is a Fulani man.
I'm sorry, sir.
Why should it be so?
Do you mean the NSA?
Yes.
Babagana Mongono?
Yes. Is it Yoruba man?
Do you have your facts, sir?
Yes. Go and confirm my facts.
Okay, sir.
Is it Yoruba man or is it an Igbo man? Is it an Igala man? No, I said put it to you as no. Why is this so?
National Security Advisor Fulani. All of you cannot reason. And you're wondering, how come that trailer carrying Fulani, they claim they are from Mali, they are from Mauritania. How come they cross every checkpoint all the way to Calabar in the height of COVID-19? Hey, stupidity is a disease. It's a disease. Listen, please. The reporter is asking the interviewee is an interviewee. Yes. Are you sure of your facts? But she's a journalist. She knows that Mongono is a Fulani. She's asking, are you sure? She wants to sound objective. Look at her. She can't even maintain a straight face. Everywhere is Fulani. Everywhere. So they can control arms. They can ship their arms all the way by freight. It comes into Tinkan Island or Apapa Wharf. They put the container on the rail. They move it all the way to Kaduna Dry Dock. In Kaduna Dry Dock, they open the dry dock in Kaduna to shipping arms to terrorists. Whereas Calabar Seaport is closed, the Iguata Seaport closed, Warri Seaport closed. Shame on all of you, Sabo. Shame on you. Your stupidity is in your face, in your eyes. You cannot see it because you're blind with greed, envy, and jealousy. Your ignorance is the crowning, is the topping on top of it. Mad people everywhere. Listen.
Look, we have to come together to review the architecture of this country. If you want to put a halt to this incessant killing today, I have the solution here. And I'm privileged if you ask me. First, remove the IGP, who is a Fulani man.
Fulani.
Put other nationalities in Nigeria there. Because we are aware what happened in Benue State.
Benue.
Instead of the killing in Benue State, how many of them have been arrested?
Nobody arrested.
How many of them have been prosecuted?
None.
How many convictions have been recorded?
None.
Of all the killings by Fulani in Benue State? How many?
None.
Are you saying the police cannot get there?
No, police cannot.
The police get there when the IGP is a...
But police can get there when IPOB is having a meeting. Police can get there when people are protesting. But when terrorists are killing, police cannot go there. I want to. Are you sure it is God that made you people? Is it the same God that created other people, that created you people? When there are killings, you don't see army, you don't see police. When Fulani headsmen are raping and slaughtering, you don't see them. You don't see them. But when there are protesters, a revolution now, you see them. When IPOB is having a meeting, you see them. And I keep asking you, some of you, where are your brains? Sabon TK, where is your brain? You traitors, do you have brain at all? Are you sure your brains are functioning? I want to ask all of you. The man is telling you, do you want these things to stop? Put another nationality as IGB. Replace or put other ethnicities there. You will see the change. They won't do it because their terrorists are coming in. They are settling in our land. They are building their illegal settlements in our forests. And if Leif cannot see it, Sabo cannot see it. They cannot see it because they are cursed. They are under a curse. A curse of ignorance, a curse of stupidity, a curse of envy, greed, and jealousy. They are under, bondage. The zoo is gone. They are messing with all of you. They are all making their money from the zoo, every major country of the world. So they don't give a damn if all of you die. In fact, even Bill Gates will want all of you to die off anyway. They want to reduce world population. So the Fulanis are doing them a favor. These are the things that some of you do not know. Unless we rise up as one people and say enough is enough, this nonsense will continue. It will continue. And I feel sorry for some of you. We have come to the end. There are many things to cover. But I said I will keep it only for 2 hours tonight. We have come to the end of this very program today. But we are going to continue on Wednesday. There is so many. I want people to understand the mess they're in. We are going to continue on Wednesday. We shall continue on Wednesday. Same time, 7 p.m. Biafra land time. But if you fail to reason after listening to this gospel, then you know you're finished. I'm telling you the truth, because this mess has to come to an end. This rubbish must come to an end. And as I said before, Biafra will come imminently. We pray for it this year. It will come. And when it does come, as I said, whoever will come to us to beg us to spare any saboteur, you will go down as well. They will never be forgiven. Never, ever, ever. And I'm warning them, they will never be forgiven. Even if they run to their Fulani fathers, we will find them there wherever they are. And they'll face the music. I think it's a very, very sober evening. I thank all of you for listening. And as always, we preach the truth here. If you don't repent after listening to our gospel, then you know there is no hope for you. Biafra is our religion. That is why we do what we do. Here on radio, Biafra is where we worship, because Elohim Chukwokika Biama is our God. I thank you very much for listening. From me, from here, it is good evening.
another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku, another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku, another Savior.
Well, this is MAOBI N. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPOB families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. Inyamadika, yabika kwa namno. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo. Manemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. Sing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 is another Savior. Getting moving right and getting moving faster now. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, holy, getting moving right, moving faster. Yeah, for freedom. Is another Savior. Yeah, for freedom. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior.